Hi everybody, it's Jen Mulhern and I'm back here with OrchestraTutor.com to talk to you guys about vibrato. And this video is definitely appropriate for someone who's just starting vibrato. Maybe you're a beginner, haven't really ever moved your hand around much. This is great. I can definitely say you'll pick up some pointers. Or if you already have been practicing your vibrato and you think you've got it and you want to just kind of come up with some exercises to really get a little bit more control over it, yes, this video is for you too. And really what I hope you take away with you today is just a set of things you can do every day to help evolve this creature. And I will tell you, mine definitely took a long time. I remember practicing it, and one day it did just kind of click, but it took months and months of feeling kind of awkward. So if you're in that phase, don't worry. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. All right, so let's talk about your actual cello form. Of course, you've got your heels and toes on the ground, and you feel like even without holding the instrument, you've got a pretty nice balance with your knees and your chest. Now, the most important thing I look for with a student who's about to be ready to start working on a vibrato is their left hand and their form. So of course, you want your elbow to be in a really nice spot. Should be able to slide your hand anywhere on a string without having to pick up your arm. So that's really the ideal spot for that straight line. Next of all, we just kind of imagine the tallest, most beautiful cello fingers ever. We definitely don't want the flat fingers. Even if we want strength, we're gonna have to find it with the tips of the fingers. All right, and finally, I want you to imagine what it feels like to twist a key. Or sometimes you might watch a violin who uses a lot of wrist movement in their vibrato. That's not us. You need to imagine you've got I guess maybe a bowling glove or a cast, or maybe some kind of a brace. If you've ever had to wear wrist braces when you go skating or ice skating, the same thing that could keep your wrist from twisting at all would be what we're looking for in all of these exercises. So you might have someone help you, or you might just kind of pay attention to your own form. Do you have the elbow? Do you have the curved fingers? And is your wrist, when we start working with moving the hand around, is your wrist staying steady in a straight line, or is it doing a twisting motion, what we don't want? All right, so we've got all that. Now, I want you to imagine that you were born without a thumb. Could you still play the cello? And if you were born without a thumb, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to have a little bit of finger strength. You've got to have a little bit of a hugging motion where you really pull the cello towards you. So we're going to do a little test, and if you can do each finger, then you are ready to move on to vibrato exercises. So go ahead and put your bow on the string, but we're going to just use a nice slow bow. And I want you to imagine you were born without the thumb. So get everything set, and then carefully just lift the thumb away from the neck. So you'll notice I have just a little distance. I'm not trying to use my thumb to help me. So let's try first finger by itself. Elbow, tall finger, and then just give it a tug, and you'll notice your chest leans in and your finger pulls down. So if I was born without a thumb, I could definitely play the cello. I could play first finger. This is about the form that we're going to want later when we start to vibrato. Okay, try second finger, and you could start by trying it all by itself. No thumb in the back at all. And if you can't quite get that, you might just tuck first finger down behind it. See if you could get a little help. Okay, we'll try third finger, and let's go ahead and leave second down just to see if we can get two fingers, no help from the thumb. Good. And you know what? Step to pinky and lift everything up except fourth finger, third finger. Notice elbow still up. Hand is as curved as I can get it, but I'm going to see if I can make that note with no help from my thumb. Okay, so if you can have that kind of pull or hug towards the cello, you're ready for vibrato. That's what's going to keep your hand from sliding around. All right, so we've got a couple of exercises I want to do every single day. All right, step one, let me go get my trusty box of Pick Packs. A candy which we are not sponsored by. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've taken a box of candy, I've filled it with pennies, and I'm going to use it as a shaker. So we're going to look for everything in the left-hand form. But I want you to just go ahead and hold on to this little shaker. Whatever you want to use at home is fine. And I want you to imagine a rhythm. I'm going to set my metronome right at 60. That was a little crazy. And I'm just going to try to shake it one time for every click. I'm going to go at the same angle as the fingerboard. So we have up, down, up, down, up, down. Maybe try twice as fast. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. How about in triplets? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How about in 16th notes? So 4 shakes per beat. Ready, go. Mississippi, 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 Mississippi. All right, we're gonna try one other tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's a little fun to try a rhythm with something that actually makes noise. But if you can hear, these different speeds are kind of important. We're going to use those later. So metronome's at 60. We'll put it aside for a second. You've done your pick-pack exercises. And now we're going to try something called polish the string, which we can do with each finger. So with no bow involved, you just need to find that form again. Set first finger on your favorite string. Mine's going to be the D string. And make sure you've got a really curved, tall finger. But your thumb and your first finger aren't going to really touch much. They're going to be very slippery. I want you to trace that string up and down. You can go as far as maybe 4th position and all the way back to the net. And let's just try the same thing. I'm going to turn the metronome on. And we're going to try 1 slide per beat. 2, ready, go. Up, down. Okay, as I'm doing this, remember what I said about the wrist twisting? So if you feel any part of your wrist starting to move, stop. Make it in a straight line. Imagine you've got that cast, or imagine that you've got something holding your wrist in a nice straight line. Sometimes I imagine the motion of a karate chop. Yeah. Well, you know, wrist twisting there, right? Just a nice, solid feeling from the elbow. Or sometimes I imagine shaking some ketchup, and I really have to shake with a very stiff feeling here. So as we slide the string, let's go ahead and go to 8th notes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's try triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try 16th notes, but let's make it a little smaller. Ready, go. 1 and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E. How's that wrist doing? How's that first finger? It should be making a nice line, a big groove, almost a smiley face shape right across the top of your callus. All right, so here's our last rhythm. We'll do speed 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ready, go. That one's a hard one. Okay, if you can imagine this speed 6 that I'm going to keep referencing with the metronome at quarter note equals 60. If you notice, my whole arm looks really relaxed. All I would really need to do is feel that same hug leaning in towards the first finger with my chest. And you might actually get the beginnings of your vibrato, right? My thumb is loose in the back. And if I don't get it at first, or if something starts feeling weird, I go back to a nice slow polish the string. Okay, so I just did first finger, and I sat on each one for just a couple of different speeds, and then I'm going to move to second finger. Same thing, and keep it nice and consistent. When you do third finger, you might actually try second finger behind third, just for a little extra stability. And when you do fourth finger, you've got fourth and third finger together. Okay, so all of these I started out with a slow, and then I went a little faster, and as I went faster, I got smaller and smaller. I call this polish the string. You should probably spend a couple of minutes each day doing each finger. Then you can graduate to the Wawas. The Wawas are a made-up name that I came up with for an exercise where you still work with these same speeds, but now we're actually going to hear what the slow motion vibrato sounds like. So let's start with first finger. First finger is going to come down on the string in an exact perpendicular straight line. So although I'm going to scoot mine back to a lower position, I want that finger to really look like it's coming straight down on the string. And you can think of 2 swings of the pendulum. One goes all the way back. Notice my palm is now open to the floor. Okay, take it back to the middle. Now push it all the way forward. Notice now my palm is opened up to my shoulder. So if you can imagine going back and front over the top of the finger, you're going to feel your callus expand, definitely. You might feel a little bit of discomfort, but just press as lightly as you need to, lean in with a little with the chest, and you'll kind of notice that you can slowly revolve around that finger. So what are we going to do with that? Well, first we're going to practice it without the bow, and I'm going to do my speeds again. So remember, speed 1, 1, 1, 1. Speed 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Speed 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, Speed 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And speed 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you're not going to get all of these speeds on the first try. You'll probably need to do speed 1 for a while. How long do you think? Well, I like to put my bow with it and really see if I can start controlling a slow bow with that slow oscillation. So let's try speed 1 with the bow. Now I'm going to change bows whenever I feel like it, but I think we should do about 8 of those. I'm on number 2 right now. Here's another slow bow, here's number 3. Okay, by this time you're starting to feel your finger and it's callous. Maybe you start feeling some things in your arm that you've never felt before. Now that was 4 bows. Keep going if you're playing with me. That's 1 speed, and then we go to speed 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Great. Speed 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Speed 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. As wide as you can, keeping all of that form. And finally, speed 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bum. Now notice my arm has a rhythm. D, D, D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll always feel the speed through the elbow. Now, I went all the way through speeds 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And you notice I kind of keep going back to those same speeds. I'm going to do each finger, and I'm going to do the wah-wahs without the bow and once with the bow. When I do the bow, I'm going to go ahead and do 8 in a row. So this is a great time to go ahead and sit and just spend 10 minutes on your vibrato. When you finally get to the point where it's starting to feel controlled, and I'll tell you that the slow speeds aren't too bad. Sometimes you can even get a nice fast speed, but some of those medium speeds are very difficult. So as you work to just basically be the boss, you know, really try to control your hand and make sure it's going at the tempo that you're setting in your head. Once you get control of each finger, you can start working a little bit with finger changes, maybe from first to second. And see if you can keep that going. You might try bow changes. When your bow changes, hopefully it won't interrupt your oscillation. So there's a lot of little games you can play, but if you do each one of these every day, I can't imagine that it would be very long before one day it clicks and you just feel that natural vibrato that's the perfect speed for you. All right, good luck out there, and feel free to contact us at orchestratutor.com if you have any questions. Thanks so much.